Live. So thank you so much for joining me, brethren, dear Templars. Please, after reading the caption of this broadcast, liking the broadcast, sharing it, don't forget to read the description of the broadcast as well. So in this order, read the caption, read the description, like the broadcast, share it, and you won't have to do all of that again if you can do it from the start. But usually people just join and they just kind of like delve straight into it, and they would have to be reminded of like the broadcast, please, guys. Like the broadcast, guys. A little bit embarrassing sometimes because people are so conservative when it comes to them liking the broadcast. But if you have done that already, thank you. Tonight, we are delving into a lot as usual, and we are going to be doing it one after the other. The huge part of tonight is going to be on the two fighting case between Reno Mockery and Kaduna Littlefinger, Elrufai. Elrufai is famous for one thing. He is famous for being controversial. Then he is also famous for being the point man in our discovery of those who brought back the Fulani terrorists into Nigeria using the system of government that was supposed to protect Nigerians, or rather used in decimating them. The people of Southern Kaduna will never forget Elrufai in their lifetime, his role in sponsoring the terrorism, the Fulani terrorism in Southern Kaduna, an act that throughout his 8 years as governor of Kaduna, he was able to pay influencers on social media to counterattack those who came out to share their experiences as they happened in Southern Kaduna. Unfortunately, those he paid back then when he was governor to justify the killings in Southern Kaduna, the terrorism there, majority of them have switched sides today. They can no longer defend him. And therefore, Elrufai is now an IDP, internally displaced politician. And as for Reno Mockery, he seems to be a sycophant for hire. He himself did all he could to join the wagon of the exposers of the terrorism in Nigeria under Bukwari. He was once an appointee of Goodluck Egbere Jonathan. Then when he was sacked by Jonathan, Reno Mockery resorted into an online, he called himself a table shaker, by the way. There's nothing he didn't call himself, but he managed to build himself a profile for through Leah Sharibu, one of the Dapchi girls kidnapped by Boko Haram that they kept for themselves way back then. So the story of these two charlatans is not new. So is their fight. But they seems to be fighting for, different cause. And this time around, it's about patronage. Throughout the murderous 8 years of Bukwari, Reno Mockery pretended to be a pro-Nigerian and the supporter of, what is good. However, it didn't take real long before he got a call from the same man. He once told us he went to Chicago to investigate, and in fact, he never went to Chicago State University. Also, that the man that Reno Mockery is defending today was actually a drug dealer, a drug baron, something that internet never forgets. But yeah, it seems that in their politics in Nigeria, as they say, no permanent friends, no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. Their story is so similar. So that is why I'm going to be going back and forth between them. Okay, tonight, I am a storyteller. And if you are new on Mayegun's Diary Politico, well, you would have to get used to it, okay? So the last time, which was last night, I saw someone's comment who was trying to, I bet that person is new, because that's the only reason why somebody would tell me to be civil when I am talking about the criminals in Nigeria. You see, when people want to be politically correct, they will tell you that you don't need to insult them. I mean, you can deliver your message without being insulting and the rest of that. So when people send me that kind of a comment, I automatically just believe that maybe they are among those who just stumbled on this channel on YouTube, and they just felt like it is irritating to be calling people names, to be insulting them, stuffs like that. So I am therefore going to quickly give us a reminder. I appreciate all of you who joined Mayegun's Diary Politico on YouTube for whatever reason that got you interested in this channel, okay? But this place is called Temple of Truth, Mayegun's Diary Politico. Except if you are a closet supporter of the criminals in charge of Nigeria, those criminals, you will never take any offense in how I address them. You are right. I could be civil. Like I could still kind of deliver my message without being like, insulting, like you said. But except you are a supporter of all these bad guys, you will never take offense. So I choose not to respect them. Do you understand? I choose not to respect them. I coined all these names for those rogues in that contraption. And if you do not have any bit of flair for them, you will never be offended. But if you are offended, I understand. You may be among the Ronu coups, the Ronu Nazis, the Ronu bandits, the Yoruba Ponus, the Oshogbo Alimanjeris, the Lagos Abobakus, the crumb eaters, the ass lickers, the crumb chasers, the all-risers. You see, all these guys are they are from the clans of the Bat Idiot, the Buhari Idiot, the Bat Star, So I do not have any respect for you, okay? On Mayegun's Diary Politico, I do not play political correctness, all right? So don't worry about me. Worry about yourselves. So in your own warped mind, do not come here to correct me how I address these criminals. They are criminals, and that is why in the world of today, anybody that feels slighted or libeled, right? You can easily sue me. Do you understand? So, and listen, I also know those I am addressing. That's why I call their names. If you are not one of them, you shouldn't be offended, And if you kind of feel offended, well, maybe that simply means I'm actually achieving what I want to achieve, because it seems to be, well, I have been in this for a while, and yeah, getting people mad seems to be one of my very good creative side as well. So you should never be offended, no matter what language I used in addressing these Olori Burukus. So my platform is not really for everyone. So don't come here to try to be politically correct with me. It won't work. Okay, it will actually encourage me to do it more, to get you more madder. The criminals we are addressing are heartless. These are cold criminals, destiny killers, dream killers, career criminals that don't give a hoot about you. They don't give a hoot about anybody but themselves. So it is only in that contraption, Nigeria, that you will see the voluntary slaves respecting their slave masters, their oppressors, or demanding that they should be respected, or even praying for them. On Mayegun's Diary Political, our effort is to, possibly reformat the brains of a lot of us, whether you are young or old. Don't demand respect for criminals in charge of Nigeria, from Tinubu to the rest of them. Don't ever demand respect for them. Don't give them any. And if you are already a voluntary slave, whether you are an Abrodian Ronuku, Abrodian bat idiot, Abrodian bastard, it still never change anything. Because we do know on this platform as well that there are some of you that were taken out of the contraption, Nigeria. They didn't take Nigeria out of you. In fact, some of you are the key problems. The slow clog, the clog in the wheel of progress, of liberating the minds of a lot of people. Where you live in a society where everything works. Or you prefer the contraption to remain as it is, so that at least out of 100 blind people, one-eyed man can be their leader, So we have sorted all of that. So if you are new on Mayegun's Diary Political, and somehow you get offended the way I address these guys, well, there's nothing you can do about it, okay? So you can turn yourself to anything. You shall collect as well. And I do advise people, I say, listen, you shouldn't be watching Mayegun's Diary Political. If you have any kind of love or respect for the Olori Burukus destroying Nigeria, all right? You shouldn't, for your own mental health. Because my mouth's not really good. My mouth is not that good, okay? I can get you mad right there, that even the people inside your house will begin to ask you, what is wrong? What is wrong, ma? What is wrong, sir? I can get you that mad. Yeah, and by your comment, I shall know as well, right? So, 2 years ago, in fact, let's start from the beginning. When these guys, I'll start with Elrufai, Little Finger, they launched a never-seen-before propaganda campaign against Goodluck Ebere Jonathan. He was called so many names: a drunkard, clueless, brainless, a thief. There was no name they didn't call him. And they ensured that all those names stuck. And they gave life to those names. So that everybody that comes, when you see the image of Jonathan, you see the image of a clueless man, a drunkard, an incompetent, guy, if the son of a fisherman or a boat repairer, to the point that people couldn't wait to get rid of him. They were threatening. They even threatened him that if he dared stay a day longer in that state, he will be chased out and it will cause civil war. There was nothing they didn't say. They had all this free will. Internet doesn't forget. Then they got the power. And they automatically turned speaking against government into a crime. And people were actually locked up. People were exiled. They looted. They looted and looted and looted. They brought terrorism upon Nigeria. They killed and killed and killed. But you dare not say it. People paid supreme prices. Democracy turned to demonstration of grace, militocracy. This APC, Egbekegbe, that used the same social media to bully a sitting president to oblivion, became, they actually burned the bridge, and it became a crime to condemn or even criticize the APC, Egbekegbe. So, it was going on well for them. They were destroying Nigeria, but they were blaming other people for it. They were dividing Nigeria. They were blaming other people for it. They were done. Out of power, suddenly, the same Elrufai is back. In fact, you know what? Let's start from there. Gone are the days, well, back in the days, this was Elrufai 9 years, 10 years ago, 2014.
This government is incapable of doing anything. Even if you ask them to eat food, they will not do it competently. They are so incompetent that they speak in ways and manners that really has reduced Nigeria to a laughingstock in the world. Who is APC? Who in APC will arrange the abduction of girls? To what end? To what purpose? They should come out, and if they are the government, if they know anyone, if Nasir Elrufai is involved, what are they waiting for? Arrest me and prosecute me. But they are all a bunch of liars. They only know how to point fingers at anyone. They don't know how to govern. Instead of sitting down and solving problems, they point fingers at other people. They blame others to divert attention from their incompetence. The primary responsibility of any government is to provide security. They have failed woefully. Instead of focusing on it, they are blaming people. Who is behind the abduction? Who is behind terrorism in APC? You are the government. You have security agencies. You have intelligence agencies. You have the army. You have the police. We have courts. What are you waiting for?
And then
what are they waiting for?
There have also been accusations that you are the party APC, being the biggest opposition party so far in Nigeria, so as we speak right now, is taking advantage or exploring advantage of the fact that there's terrorist crisis in the country, and you're exploring that.
Why shouldn't
score political points?
What is we are in opposition? Are we supposed to let a government that has become so incompetent will be praising them and say that, oh, terrorism is happening, Jonathan is doing nothing, well done Jonathan? Are we supposed to do that? We are in opposition. Our job is to look at even good things that they are doing and say they are not doing it well. That is the job of opposition. So we have no apologies for pointing out to Nigerians that this government is incompetent and has failed to provide security. If you say we are politicizing it, fix the problem so that we can't politicize it. Okay? Are we politicizing breathing of air? Every Nigerian can breathe air. We can't politicize it because there is no problem there. But if you fail to supply petroleum products and we say you are failing, you say we are politicizing it. Fix the problem so that we don't politicize it. If you say that there is terrorism, we are politicizing it, eliminate terrorism. 5 years ago, nobody is talking about terrorism in Nigeria. Under Jonathan, it has become an industry. And we should not take advantage of their failings so that we secure the votes of Nigerians in the next elections. There must be something wrong with them. We have made suggestions to the government on how to improve security. They have ignored it. They have set up 5 different committees that have given them recommendations how to address this problem of terrorism in the last 3 years. They have not implemented one. They are incompetent. But they try to blame other people.
So at this stage that we are right now with terrorism in Nigeria, what do you think is the solution, especially on how to rescue the girls?
Look, the government has the solution to this problem. Several committees have given them recommendations. They should just implement the recommendations in their drawer. Okay? As for rescuing the girls, we have seen examples of what countries do when this situation happens. You should have military action on the one hand and negotiation on the other hand. You should not foreclose anything because the lives of your citizens are at risk and you don't want to lose one life. You don't want to lose the life of one person. You don't want to lose the life of 250 girls. So whatever it takes to rescue those girls should be done. If one of these girls was Jonathan's daughter, the story will be different. The only reason why these girls are still in captivity is because they are not the daughter of any important man in Nigeria, and we know it. And if you say I'm politicizing terrorism, go and rescue the girls so that I don't have a basis to politicize it.
So are you in support of?
And for clarity, they were actually the ones that kidnapped the Chibok girls. And it worked. The girls, some of them who later got rescued, said all the while that Nigerians were asking for them, free Chibok girls, free Chibok girls. They were in Maiduguri. In a politician's house, they said they will be hearing the hovering helicopters. And whenever the helicopters are approaching the compounds, they will tell them to quickly run in. They will quickly rush them inside. They divided them into about 5, all the girls in Maiduguri. And who was the governor? Then the current vice president of Nigeria, Shittiman, was the governor. Who was the minister for education when the girls were kidnapped? The current FCT minister, Wike. Wike wrote a letter. They said they received an intel that the Boko Haram were planning to conduct a mass kidnapping of school children during their WAEC examinations. Because of that, they said all the schools in Maiduguri, secondary schools, where the children were sitting for their WAEC examinations, should be moved to Maiduguri. All the schools in Borno State should be moved to the state capital, Maiduguri, for adequate security. The girls in Chibok, right? Shittiman wrote back and said, logistically, it will be impossible to move all of them to Maiduguri, but they have provided security. And the children will be fine. So, on the night when the girls were to be kidnapped, the school headmistress, whose own child was supposed to be sitting as well for the examination, was excused from the dormitory. And then the Boko Haram came and they took all the girls. And while the girls were taken, the same Shittiman, the governor never alerted the federal agencies, the federal agents, and say, we have a kidnapping activity going on. To the point that the children were taken, and until the following day, when the news now broke that they've kidnapped school children in Chibok, there are hundreds of school children have been kidnapped. Borno state government, under Shittiman, issued a statement that it was fake news. It wasn't true. Similarly, the same message was passed on to Egbere Jolantan, that there was no missing girls. So which means they gave the terrorists enough time to take the girls, redistribute them. And yes, he's right. Good luck, Egbere Jolantan. Pretty much like treated it so much with levity, and maybe not totally blamed for it, because if people said, no, there is no kidnapping, and you gave the terrorists 24 hours to move the girls before you finally now said, yes. I don't know if some of you still remember this, that they actually said they've rescued them at some point for 2 days before they finally admitted that, yes, there's been a kidnapping. And immediately, Elrufai, Shittiman, and the APC criminals, terrorists, they started granting different press interviews. Shittiman even cried. And what did they tell the press? Jonathan did not say, he did not do anything. He did not come to support them. He did not even he didn't even care. And that worked, So the likes of Reno Mockery, Wendell Simlin, is that what his name? The identity of a woman that he stole. Or Shore knows him better. Shore, who was Wendell Simlin?
I met the mother. I interviewed her. I put it out. That's the evidence. And the woman said, yes, Reno Mockery is an identity thief. When Reno Mockery sent soldiers to the mother's house to eject somebody from their house in Warri or so, I got the information. I put it out for Sarah report. In fact, it led to him being fired by Jonathan, because most people did not know that Reno Mockery did not complete his tenure with Jonathan. Jonathan fired him towards the election because of a lot of criminal activities he was engaging in. Reno Mockery claims to be an Amazon bestseller. Can you just find out how many books he's selling? What's the name of the book? So I'm not personalizing it. I'm just telling you that I am an evidence-based person. If you say so, look, there's no need engaging in emotional conversations. But you know, all the political leaders in this country have their own supporters. Even if you look today, there are people who still support Abacha.
So like I said, I'm a storyteller. So if you have time, just sit back and be following it step by step, because we are going somewhere with this.